Hello everyone, it's May 1st, 2020, and a lot of you have been asking for a garden tour, so I thought I'd do that today in this beautiful day. I'm going to kind of go through it pretty quick. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll try to focus in on that, but I'm just going to kind of breeze through and give you an overview of what we've got here and just what we've done this year to do our garden. So the biggest change this year is we have almost completely mulched our entire backyard with wood chips. We started off with a lot of mud this year that made it very difficult to work, and so we just bit the bullet and had 30 yards of wood chips brought in to help with that, and we're loving it. We still have some more to go back over that direction, and we'll be working on that soon. So getting started, these white tubs, they're 55-gallon drums cut in half, and we're going to go with corn in these. This is something new we're trying with the bigger containers, just to kind of fill up some space, because we did want to leave this center aisle as big as possible, and we'll see how that works out. Our first bed here has been planted with asparagus. Each one of those flags you see is an asparagus plant. We have 2 varieties in there, 10 of each. We've got, I can't tell you which the varieties are because I don't remember, but we also have potatoes coming up through there, because last year this was our potato bed, and we had red and I believe Yukon Gold potatoes in there, and we've got some volunteers coming back up, which will be nice if we get some potatoes out of that. We have a lilac waiting to go in right there. In this bed we have onions. We have 2 varieties. These were from starts, or the little bulbs that you get in a bag, and I think they're doing a lot better than the other ones, which over here, which were slips we got from Stark Brothers. So everything's kind of caught up to about where it should be, but these maybe need a little pruning to get rid of some of that dead stuff. But these, which grew from the little bulbs, are looking great. We have some mint and a nasturtium right here, and mint. And then we've also got some beans and squash on these cattle panel trellises. In this bed, we've got tomatoes. We have an area set aside here for some peppers, which aren't in yet. They're still in the greenhouse. And we've got some marigolds in here for color. And then down here, on this cattle panel trellis, will be some beans of some variety. I'll try to put some of the varieties in the notes when I have that information, but my wife has documented all that, and it may be better just to kind of ask if you're looking for something in particular, but this is kind of in general. So this bed doesn't have a whole lot in it yet. Along the cattle panel tunnel here, we're going to have lots of beans, some squash, and some more marigolds, some more tomatoes. We've got these trellises here. I use a lot most often for tomatoes, so I think that's what we got. Cucumbers, which aren't coming up yet on these, but these are trellises that I've made out of rebar, and I can do a video on that if you guys like. They're pretty simple, very durable. They work great. Just a real quick look of these. We usually get them, each one will go in our garden in some way. So I've got a rhubarb here that I'm letting to go to seed. This one's been volunteering in various beds, but this year it came up and bolted right away, so I'm just gonna let it go to seed and go from there. Along this fence we've got blueberries and blackberries and raspberries. We've got some onions in here every once in a while. You see the prickly stems of the blackberries, blueberries, whatever it is. some spinach in here somewhere. More onions, shallots, lots of shallots. And then here's a raspberry. This is a volunteer that we've been, it's been with us ever since we've been at this house. I dug it out a different bed this year, and here it sits growing out of its clumps. So we're gonna let that one kind of do its thing. Getting back to where we left off. This bed, tomatoes, we got zinnias right along here, marigolds again, and then this area right here is probably going to be peppers too. We haven't decided exactly what we're going to put there. We do like the peppers. You can see from this bed also the same deal. This whole area here, planned for peppers. We've got some tomatoes scattered in here, some tomatillos. Again with the marigolds for color. And then in this bed, we've got virtually nothing in here yet, except for the marigolds that we have just for color. But we're planning to put probably peppers, probably tomatoes, mostly. Just these two beds here, planning for that. These two beds are new this year. I'd always had them planned, but I had a whole bunch of logs and stuff here over our old beds. But that was a big project we did earlier this year. There's some log remnants there and there. And out of those logs, I milled these 4 raised beds here. I cut the logs into 4x14 timbers, and we just kind of set them out, put some rotting logs and stuff, hugelkultur style, in the bottom, filled it with soil, and then top dressed with compost and manure. But in the middle of this bed, we've got a rose, and then we've got some herbs and flowers in here for color and flavor. This bed doesn't have anything coming up yet, but it's all going to be pumpkins. We're going to try to keep 4 pumpkins in each corner contained to this box, and we'll see how that goes. In this bed along the chicken coop, again, just a bunch of herbs, peas, and other kind of things for the chickens to kind of nibble on and for us to nibble on as it grows through, or they can get through the wire. This bed, also mostly herbs. There's a pea in the middle, some nasturtiums, and some other things, because we're kind of experimenting with using herbs for medicinal and nutritional supplements and things like that. One project we kind of completed, but not quite yet, is getting some drainage in our yard. We've had a major issue with drainage, like I mentioned earlier with the mud. I went ahead and trenched through here, put some drain tile, and this will all get buried with wood chips, but that allowed me to finish this bed, and right now it's still pretty rough. All the stuff I dug out of the trench went into there, and then we need to top dress that with compost and manure, bring it back up to there. And then we've got this is all strawberries, and we've got the bird netting on there to try to hopefully actually get some strawberries, and the bird netting seems to be working pretty well. This last bed here, we've got another rose right in the middle, and some other herbs, flowers, like phlox and nasturtium and stuff like that. Over here, we've got 2 pussy willows. This used to be the lowest spot in the yard. Right here, I had a kind of a sump pit, and then this pump was in there. Since we changed all this around, I've moved all that over to there, so that if we wanted to capture rainwater, we can. That's kind of a long-term project, and we'll see how that materializes. I got my 2 flow hives over there. No bees yet, but I do have visitors. See if there are any in there today. Looks pretty quiet, but I've had bees going in and out and that's just because there's old comb with resources in there that they've been kind of going after. This bed here is peas. I think there's 4 varieties in here. And then we've got parsley. But this was, we started off putting a row cover on this. And I went ahead and left the hoops up just in case I needed them for support of the peas. But for the time being, we're going to see how that twine and our trellises hold up. This bed has radishes on here. There's some daikon right in here. Lettuce is over this direction, and then all of this is two or three varieties of carrots. And then this last bed here, we've got beets in here, radishes, leeks. Can't remember what the smaller stuff up here front is. And then we've got more carrots all in here. And we're trying, we've had struggled with like the Nantes and the longer carrots, so we're trying some ox hearts just because maybe they can deal with our soil a little bit better. We're trying to have as loose a soil as possible, but it's just what we have has a lot of clay, and we're still trying to amend that. It just seems that the carrots struggle to go very much deeper than like 6 inches. So the Nantes and seem to want to go a little bit deeper. Well, we might try those in containers. But that in a nutshell is our garden. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can message on Facebook in the group, or just send me or us a note in the comments, and we'll try to do focused content if that's what you guys like. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.